Mother Goat and her 7 little goats lived happily in a farm in the forest. One day, the farm animals woke up to something that sounded like grunts coming from the forest. They had never heard this before.
What's that noise, Mom?
I don't know, dear. We'll find out soon enough.
Mom, I'm scared.
Me too. These sounds are scary.
Mother Goat put on some clothes so she could go outside and find out what was going on.
Stay here and wait for me. Do not open the door for strangers. Understand?
Understood.
Mother Goat left home and went to meet with the other animals of the farm. But the noises were getting louder and scarier. The scared little goats hid under the table.
We have to find out where those grunts are coming from. Chickens aren't laying eggs and cows are not producing milk because they're afraid.
Yes, we have to find a solution immediately. Otherwise, we'll starve to death.
Just then, the noise stopped. And everything went back to normal.
What just happened?
Hooray! It's gone. Everything's back to normal.
Still, we should look into it.
Is that really necessary? See, it's gone.
What if it happens again?
We'll find a solution then. Don't be so pessimistic.
Come on, everybody, get to work.
All animals went back to work as if nothing had happened. The next day, they woke up to those dreadful sounds again. Like the day before, the sounds died down at noon. Nobody but Mother Goat was worried. Mother Goat was bewildered, but there was nothing she could do. Concerned, she went home where the little goats were awaiting her.
Mom, what's happening?
We don't know, honey.
Is no one doing anything?
Crestfallen Mother Goat looked down. It was upsetting not knowing what to tell her kids. As it got dark, everyone at the farm went to sleep. 7 pairs of eyes were wide open in the dark. The kids couldn't sleep.
We have to figure this out. But how?
Investigate and head in the direction where we heard the noise.
The guard won't let us out this late at night.
But how do we get out without being seen?
I have an idea. Listen to me.
The old guard was dozing off. Suddenly, he saw 3 big silhouettes approaching. He immediately stood up and pointed the flashlight at them. The little goats were wearing Mother Goat's clothes. They had climbed on top of each other so they could look bigger.
Who are you? Where are you going at this hour?
We are craving fresh grass. There's none left at home.
I can't let you out at this late. It's dangerous out there.
If we don't eat, we won't have the strength to work tomorrow, right, girls?
The guard didn't know what to say. It was the first time he had to deal with something like this.
All right, you can go, but come back quickly.
The mischievous little goats disappeared into the night. They got off of each other behind the first tree and went toward where the noise came from during the day. They walked for a long time and finally they arrived at an empty field illuminated by huge lamps. There was heavy equipment, building materials, and chopped down trees everywhere.
This doesn't look good.
We should tell Mom about this.
No, you won't be telling anyone. I'll chop every tree in the forest and sell the lumber. I'll be very rich. You nosy brats can't stop me.
We should have guessed.
The wolf tied the little goats firmly and locked them in a room. The poor kids were so scared, but they didn't show their fear in front of the wolf.
We have to get out.
How? We must stop the wolf from destroying the whole forest.
Can anyone think of something?
Reach there, we'll be free.
First, they nibbled on the ropes, just as their mother had taught them. The ones who broke free helped free the others. Then they climbed on top of one another to reach the air vent and climbed out. There was no one in sight, but they could hear the wolf snoring. The little goat sent 2 of their siblings back to the farm to tell others about it.
If he cuts down all the trees, all the creatures in the forest will die too.
We must stop him.
How?
They huddled and whispered their plan to each other. Meanwhile, 2 of the little goats reached the farm. Unfortunately, the old guard had fallen asleep, so they couldn't get inside. The fence was too high for them to jump over it. The little goats came up with a solution. While one crouched, the other one got on top of its back to jump over the fence.
Come on, inside!
The 2 little goats ran to their house and woke their mum up. They told her everything they had seen and what had happened to them.
Come on, let's get to work.
Meanwhile, at the construction site, 2 little goats found glue among the building materials and poured it all over the wolf who was sleeping. The other 3 little goats climbed on the backhoe, an excavating machine. While one operated the steering wheel, the other one sat on the brake and accelerator pedal. The third one operated the machine's massive loader. The little goat that operated the steering wheel turned on the ignition and the machine roared to life. The little goats were nervous, but they were determined to put their plan into action. The little goat in charge of the pedals pushed down the accelerator, and the machine started to gain speed. The third little goat operated the machine's loader. The wolf woke up when he heard the noise. He immediately realized what was happening.
You miserable goats, so you managed to escape!
No matter how hard the wolf tried, he couldn't get up. He didn't understand what was holding him back. In a final effort, he lunged forward, and his fur got stuck to the bed due to the glue the little goats had poured. The wolf ran after the backhoe. He stopped in front of it just as the machine was about to enter the area where all the lumber and chopped trees were.
Stop right there, you miserable goats!
The little goats brought the machine to a sudden stop.
Look at the wolf! Look at him! Look at him!
The wolf looked back and noticed his back fur was gone.
We got him! Hooray for teamwork!
At that moment, all the farm animals led by Mother Goat arrived at the construction site, and they were appalled at what they saw.
Congratulations, my kids! You helped avoid a huge disaster from happening.
They cleaned up the site and planted new trees to make the area green again. What about the bad wolf? He's still running all around the forest without his fur.
I'll make you pay for this, you miserable little goats. You'll pay.
Once upon a time, far away from the city, Mother Goat and her 7 kids lived happily in a farm in the forest. The animals that lived in this farm had no owners, so they ran the farm themselves. Every year, one of them would be nominated president. The animals would produce their own food and live together in harmony. They respected one another and tried to do the right thing. Doing so helped avoid any conflicts in the farm. Mother Goat's job was to collect milk from every animal that produced milk, and she sold it in the market. She brought the money to the president so they could use it for the farm's needs. That year was Dog's turn to be president. He was responsible for the farm's security. From time to time, things disappeared in the farm. Everyone knew it was Dog's fault, but nobody dared to say anything because they were scared of his bark and big teeth. Unwillingly, the animals handed over management to Dog with a ceremony.
I don't trust the dog.
He still hasn't found the thief who stole our eggs recently.
He never even looked for them.
It'll be a tough year.
Everyone knew that Dog and the bad wolf who lived in the forest were good friends.
We should all be on our guard. We all have children.
No way! He wouldn't give our children to the wolf.
Either way, we should take precaution.
He might not be good at his job, but he won't betray us.
We'll see about that.
While the farm animals talked among them, Dog was enjoying his new post. Everything was going well in the first few days. The animals went back to their jobs, and business was running as usual. There was nothing to worry about. One night, Mother Goat was awoken by screams, and she immediately went outside to see what was going on.
My children, my babies, they're gone.
What's going on?
Bad wolf kidnapped all the chicks.
But how did this happen?
They all approached Dog. His snores were so loud that they resonated all across the farm. Mother Goat knocked on the kennel's door. But Dog didn't wake up.
I know what to do. Cook-a-doodle-doo! Cook-a-doodle-doo!
Upon hearing roosters crowing, Dog got startled and hit his head in the kennel's ceiling, thinking it was morning.
What? What's happening?
What kind of president are you? Bad wolf kidnapped all my chicks while you slept soundly.
Calm down, everyone. Maybe the chicks went for a walk.
At this hour?
It seems somebody helped Bad Wolf.
No way. You can't look after your children.
Are you not the president? We're supposed to come to you when we have problems.
Everybody back to bed. We'll look for the chicks in the morning.
All animals went back to bed worried.
Something fishy is going on around here. We have to be careful.
The next morning, under Dog's leadership, they searched for the chicks in vain. It seemed as if the poor chicks had vanished into thin air. All farm animals looked for the chicks until late in the evening. But they came back to the farm empty-handed. Mother Chicken was sobbing.
No need for despair. You can always lay more eggs.
Upon hearing this, Mother Chicken lunged at Dog and pecked him many times. That was what Dog had wanted. So he locked Mother Chicken in the coop. All farm animals went to bed early due to exhaustion. After they fell asleep, Dog sneaked out of his kennel and opened the farm gates. In the darkness, Big Bad Wolf turned up.
Where have you been? I've been waiting for hours.
I had to make sure everyone was asleep. You think it's so easy to fool everyone in such a big farm?
Fine, fine. Cut it short.
What do you want this time?
The goat kids.
They cost a lot more.
The Big Bad Wolf gave all he had in his wallet to Dog.
There we go.
Just show me the goat's place already.
The wolf stealthily approached the house where Mother Goat and the kids lived. The bad wolf went directly to Little Goat's room and began putting them in the sack. The startled goat kids huddled quickly and started screaming as their mother had taught them to do in such an emergency. Wolf was shocked, but wasn't about to give up on his prey. He leaped out of the window with the sack on his back and fled. Mother Goat, who had woken up due to her kids' screams, understood what happened and immediately ran after Wolf.
Help! He stole my children! Help!
Mother Goat, along with Cat and Rooster, began to tail Wolf. Not long after, Wolf disappeared in the darkness of night. Mother Goat sat on a rock and started crying desperately. She heard her baby's screams, but unfortunately, she couldn't reach them. Just then, they heard wing flaps above them.
Hey, follow me. I can see them.
Mr. Owl could see Wolf thanks to his night vision. They followed Owl to Bad Wolf's den.
Come on, let's attack the wolf and save them.
No. We should come up with a plan first. Mr. Owl is faster than us, so while we distract the wolf, he can fly back to the farm and get help. We can all attack and beat the wolf.
Owl flew back to the farm. Mother Goat, Rooster and Cat approached the house window and they saw Wolf and Dog shaking hands.
Now everything makes sense.
What are we going to do now?
We'll wait for help to arrive.
Meanwhile, the little goats tried to make sense of the situation. The youngest ones were so afraid they began to cry.
We have to do something.
We have to remain calm.
Shh! Don't you cry now. Remember what Mom taught us?
Stay calm. Be brave. Think and act.
Yes, that's right.
I have an idea. Listen to me.
The little goats kept whispering and giggling among themselves. After their talk, one of them knocked on the locked door.
Hey, Bad Wolf, look over here!
The wolf approached the door.
What? What do you want, you scoundrels?
We have to go to the toilet.
Toilet? You can hold it in. Be patient. I'm taking you to the market to sell you all.
Suit yourself, Bad Wolf. There are 7 of us. Think of all the mess we're gonna make.
Bad Wolf and Dog looked at each other.
You're scared of 7 kids?
Wolf unlocked the door, and they took the kids to the tree across the house in a single file. In the meantime, Mother Goat saw what was happening.
Come on, do what you have to do, but be quick.
Not with you looking at us.
Yes, you have to turn around.
Fine. Fine. Be quick.
As soon as they turned around, one of the kids rammed Wolf and the other rammed Dog so hard that they were startled. The other kids began to butt the 2 accomplices.
There's my babies. Come on, it's our turn now.
Cat leaped out of the tree where he had been hiding and lunged at Wolf and scratched him. Rooster pecked at Dog's head with all his strength. The last hit came from Mother Goat with a mighty headbutt that sent both Wolf and Dog all over the ground. Rooster and Mother Goat were so happy to be reunited with their children. Rooster took his chicks under his wing to warm them up. Mother Goat hugged her kids and kissed each and every one of them.
My dear children, I'm so proud of all of you.
Owl took all the farm animals to the scene.
There they are.
Mother Goat told the animals everything. Everyone learned a lesson from it. From now on, the president of the farm was to be selected instead of taking turns. There would also be a farm council in which the farm animals would be able to make sure the president is doing a good job. They also decided to kick Dog out of the farm. Mother Goat was elected as the president because of her courage. Everybody returned to their home and lived happily ever after, except for Wolf and Dog. Once upon a time, there was a 5-year-old orphaned girl named Heidi. She was a very beautiful little girl with dark brown eyes, short black hair and rosy cheeks. Heidi was brought up by her Aunt Dieter, who lived in Switzerland. One day, Heidi's life was turned upside down when her aunt found a job in another city. Aunt Dieter, who couldn't bring Heidi along with her,
"We're going to the Alps to your grandfather's, my dear. You'll stay with him for some time, and I'll come and get you when my work is done. This is for your own good, you understand, right?"
Yes, I do. You know what's best for me, Auntie. I'll bring my dolls with me and we'll wait for you. I'm also looking forward to meeting my grandfather. I can't wait.
After a very long trip, they finally arrived at her grandfather's cottage. Grandpa Adolf lived there with his dog Joseph. Everyone knew him as a moody and a difficult man, but he was actually very soft-hearted. Aunt Dieter explained to him the situation and left Heidi there. Heidi and her grandpa loved each other from the moment they met. The little girl's antics brought life to that cottage. Grandpa Adolf got used to his new life with Heidi and couldn't think of a life without her. He no longer walked with a frowned face.
Where have you been, Heidi? I feel reborn having you here with me. I love you, my dear grandchild.
Me too, Grandpa. I really love you, and I also love it around here. Sadly, I have no friends.
There's a boy named Peter. He lives with his blind grandmother in a cottage near ours. Tomorrow I will introduce you. What do you say?
Oh, that's wonderful! Hooray!
Peter was a boy who was also a goat herder in his spare time after school.
Peter, let me introduce you to my granddaughter, Heidi.
Hello, Heidi.
Hello, Peter.
Go on. Go and play together, okay?
After that day, they became very good friends. Heidi and Peter always took the goats grazing every day. She would climb up steep slopes, much like goats did, and she ran barefooted.
Peter, run! One of the kids is running away from the herd. Let's catch it.
Don't worry, it'll come back.
Phew, got scared there for a bit. Okay then, let me gather some flowers. I'll give them to your grandmother when we get back. I hope she gives me some fresh goat milk in return.
Peter taught Heidi how to milk the goats. They also named the goats one by one. Heidi even cooked soup at home and brought fresh baked bread to Grandma. Her joy and optimism had infected everyone. After a few years, Aunt Dieter came back to get Heidi. She was going to take her to a rich family that lived in Frankfurt so that she could get an education and could have a better life.
I can't give Heidi up. What will I do without her?
Please don't take me, Auntie. I don't want to be apart from Grandpa. I don't want to leave. I'm very happy here.
You're going to live with a very rich family, Heidi. You'll live in a huge house and get an education in a very good school.
I don't care about those things.
My dear grandchild, you know how much I love you and how much I will miss you. But I think your Aunt Dieter is right. It will be a better life for you.
Listen to what I have to say. The family with whom you'll be staying has a daughter your age. You two can become friends. Clara is not able to walk and she has no friends. She needs a friend just like you. Come on, you'll see. You'll be much happier there.
Grandpa Adolf and Heidi were both in tears. After a long trip, they arrived in Frankfurt. They arrived at a huge house, and the housekeeper, Mrs. Rottenmeier, met them at the door.
Welcome. I'm Miss Rottenmeier.
And I'm Clara. Welcome, Heidi.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Heidi, it's time for me to go. Take care of yourself, my dear. I'm pretty sure you will get along very well with Clara. Make sure you listen to what Miss Rottenmeier says. I love you, my dear niece.
That was when Miss Rottenmeier's nightmare started. She always frowned and never smiled, because she was a disciplinarian and a housekeeper.
Okay, the meeting ceremony is over. Remove those dirty things at once and take a shower. I'll bring you some clean attire.
Okay, Mrs. Rottenmeier, as you wish.
You can come to my room after you shower, Heidi. We can play together.
Oh, great! I'll clean up quickly and come then.
Clara lived in the big house with her father, grandmother, the housekeeper, Miss Rottenmeier, and the other servants. Most of the time, she would stay in her room and never draw the curtains or open the windows. Heidi was shocked when she entered Clara's room. She immediately drew the curtains to let the light in through the windows. All of a sudden, the room was full of daylight.
Clara, look how bright it is now. Sunshine will always help you feel much better.
As time passed, Heidi got used to her new place, and once again, she had made everyone fall in love with her. Every day, Heidi and Clara would play with her toys and then study. Miss Rottenmeier made it her goal to straighten up Heidi and turn her into a disciplined girl.
Listen to me. You'd better be a good girl. Do not run or wander around.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Rottenmeier.
Heidi tried to follow all the rules of the house, but she was having a great time with Clara. Nonetheless, she still missed the Alps, her grandfather and Peter. She would always dream of running in the countryside with the goats. One morning, Heidi couldn't get out of bed. Clara's grandma went to check on her right away.
Please, Grandma, send me back home.
That cheerful girl that everyone knew and loved had disappeared, and in her place was a sick and quiet Heidi who had also lost her appetite. Grandma felt bad for her, so she called in their doctor. The doctor said that she was nostalgic and the only cure was for her to be next to her loved ones in the mountains. So they decided to bring her back to her grandfather's. My life changed so much thanks to you, Heidi. I will miss you.
I'm so happy, Clara. Please understand me. That's my real home. Come and visit me as soon as you can.
Even after a very long and tiring trip, she was thrilled to see her grandfather again. She ran to him and hugged him joyously.
I miss you so much, Grandpa, and I missed everything and everyone around here.
I missed you too, my dear grandchild. We'll never be apart again. Look, Peter is here too.
Hi, Peter! I'm back!
Welcome back, Heidi. We've really missed you. Even the goats have.
Every day when they climbed the slopes, she would tell Peter about the mansion and the good times she spent there. After Heidi's return, Peter was back to his happy days.
I have a new friend. Her name is Clara. But I will miss her a lot.
Maybe one day she can come and visit, Heidi.
Some months passed. Heidi's wish came true. Clara had gotten permission to come to the Alps and stay with her. Heidi! Heidi! Look, I'm here!
I can't believe you're finally here. Welcome, Clara. We'll have a great time.
The two friends chatted until the late hours of the night. The next morning, after a wonderful breakfast, Heidi and Clara went out to the countryside and met with Peter. Clara kept them company while they were grazing the goats. It was a very different experience for her, but she was happy. But on the other hand, she was upset as she watched Heidi and Peter run and tumble. I wonder if I'll be able to run like her one day. I have no idea what that must feel like. Days passed. Clara regained her health by spending time outdoors in nature. Her cheeks were rosy. With the help of Grandpa Adolf and Heidi, she even started to get up from her wheelchair little by little.
Bravo, Clara! You can do it!
I'm so scared. What if I fall?
We're here, right next to you. You don't have to be afraid.
One day, as Clara watched Heidi and Peter gather the goats, she saw a cow running towards her. Help! Help! Frightened, she jumped out of her wheelchair and took a few steps. She was walking! A miracle had occurred. Actually, the cow was running towards the barn, but had caused Clara to walk. Peter and Heidi were shocked and didn't know what to do when they saw her. They ran to her and hugged her.
Hooray! Hooray!
You did it, Clara! You did it!
After that day, she took a few more steps every day. 1 step, 2 steps, until she was able to walk. It was now time for Clara to go back home. Her father and grandmother had come to take her. Clara waited for them in her wheelchair. When she saw them, she got up, ran, and hugged them as they entered the cottage. She wanted to surprise them. They all sat together and talked about the days that Clara had spent in the Alps. Clara reminisced about the incident with the cow. Clara, her father and grandmother stayed a few more days and then returned to Frankfurt. Everyone was back in their own home. Heidi in the Alps and Clara in Frankfurt. They continued their friendship through letters. Clara wrote to Heidi that she would come back to the Alps in springtime so they could run together and milk the goats. Finally, snow began to fall and winter had arrived. Throughout that winter, Peter and Heidi went sledding. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Rapunzel who lived in a small town. She had long blonde hair and a beautiful smile.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
Good morning, Rapunzel.
While taking a morning stroll, Rapunzel heard one of her neighbors crying. She immediately went to see what was wrong.
What's wrong? Why are you crying?
Ah, Rapunzel, just take a look at this.
Oh. Your chickens, where are they?
They're gone. Last night, I fed and petted each one of them. Today, they're gone.
Are you sure you locked the coop? Maybe you forgot to lock it.
Rapunzel's neighbor extended her hand and showed her the broken padlock.
Who could have done this?
I wish I knew.
Come on then, let's go to the police.
Together they went to the police station. On the way, Rapunzel was trying to console her neighbor. Rapunzel noticed the shop that had just opened a few days back. The shop sold fresh eggs daily. She had never met the shop owner. At that moment, she got a glimpse of Evelia and assumed she was the owner.
Good luck with your new shop, dear neighbor.
Evelia saw Rapunzel and responded with a fake smile.
Good morning. Where are you rushing to?
My neighbor's chickens were stolen. Those chickens were her livelihood. We're going to the police.
Oh dear, what a pity.
Let us know if you see them, okay?
Of course. Don't you worry.
Rapunzel thanked her and continued on her way. Evelia grinned wickedly, as she always did. When they arrived at the police station, they requested to speak to one of the detectives.
Hello, Rapunzel. What brings you here?
My neighbor's chickens got stolen.
I see.
I would send eggs to my grandchildren and sell the rest in the market. What am I going to do now?
Many people filed similar complaints today, so a lot of our officers were dispatched to the locations. You'll have to wait.
For how long?
I can't say for sure.
But we have to catch the thief and get the chickens back.
I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do right now.
What am I going to do?
Rapunzel realized that she had to take the matter into her own hands.
Don't worry, I'll help you. This looks perfect. I need to find that thief quickly.
Rapunzel began her investigation and hoped to find anything that would lead her to find the thief.
Find anything, child?
No. But wait a second.
Rapunzel found an earring on the ground. She took it in order to examine it closely.
The thief must have dropped this. At least we now know we're dealing with a woman.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to find out whom this earring belongs to, but I need to find more clues.
But there must be many women in town who have the same earring. How are you going to find its owner?
True, there might be many, but there has to be a second one to it. Whomever has one earring missing, most likely it's the thief we're looking for.
Rapunzel started going into various shops in town. While doing so, she also took a closer look at the customers' ears. She was hoping to find the missing pair. Rapunzel kept looking for the second earring till evening, but her efforts were in vain. Her poor neighbor started crying once again.
Don't worry. We'll find your chickens and the thief too. We just need some more time.
It got dark then, so they went back home. That night, Rapunzel couldn't sleep, pondering how to solve this mystery. She reflected back on the shops she'd been in, thinking whether she'd skipped any. In the morning, as Rapunzel washed her face, she realized that she hadn't been to Evelia's newly opened store. She put some clothes on, had breakfast quickly, and left home for Evelia's shop. Evelia was surprised to see Rapunzel come into her shop so early in the morning.
What brings you here? Your neighbor's chickens don't lay eggs anymore?
As I told you yesterday, somebody stole my neighbor's chickens. Besides, hers are not the only ones. Somebody's been stealing chickens all across town. We couldn't find anything.
Oh dear. So that means everybody has to buy eggs and chickens from me.
Rapunzel noticed an earring in Evelia's ear. It was the exact same one she had found the day before. Discreetly, Rapunzel peeked at Evelia's other ear. She was missing a second earring.
What a beautiful earring.
Thank you. I spent so much money on them.
Them? But you only have one earring.
I only wear one. Yes, that's it. That's the new fashion trend. Wearing only one earring. Not that you'd actually know much about fashion.
Rapunzel left the shop without raising suspicion. She found it odd that Ophelia had opened an egg shop just when there was a chicken thief on the loose. There must be a connection, Rapunzel thought. She immediately hid in the corner of the street and waited for Ophelia to close her shop. As soon as it got dark, Ophelia closed her shop and looked around to make sure no one was watching. Once she saw no one was on the street, she hurried, walking quickly. Rapunzel followed her. She moved stealthily in the shadows. Rapunzel got a chance to send a text message to the detective, explaining the situation. Ophelia walked for a long time and arrived at some desolate place. Rapunzel was still on her tail. Ophelia stood in front of an abandoned farmhouse and looked around. Then, she opened the door and disappeared inside. Rapunzel worked up the courage and went inside through the door. It was dark and quiet inside. Rapunzel was scared at first, but when she thought of her neighbor, she took control and followed the sound of Ophelia's footsteps. A little later, Rapunzel heard clucking sounds. She realized she had been right to suspect Ophelia. She looked through a small window and saw all the chickens reported missing. Ophelia was feeding them and collecting their eggs.
Now I've got you.
Rapunzel stopped in her tracks. She would need proof to accuse Ophelia, so she decided to film everything. Then, she decided it was time to catch Ophelia red-handed.
So you're the chicken thief.
Ophelia was startled to see Rapunzel, that her face turned all shades of white.
Where did you come from?
You've put these poor people through Ringer. You're going to pay for this.
Ha ha ha! Are you going to make me pay? You thought you could scare me with that detective look of yours? Don't make me laugh.
That's when the sirens of police cars were heard.
You damn little witch! I'll make you pay for this!
You cannot run, Ophelia.
Ophelia started to run away. Rapunzel knew that she had to think of something fast.
You can never catch me, Rapunzel!
Meanwhile, the detective and the other officers couldn't help themselves but laugh at Ophelia.
I'll make you pay, Rapunzel! You're going to pay for this!
The police officers apprehended Ophelia. Townspeople who arrived at the scene due to noise saw everything.
Rapunzel, you did a great job. You are a hero.
I only helped my neighbor.
We all have our chickens back thanks to you. I can send my grandchildren eggs again.
And what will happen to Ophelia?
She's going to spend the night in custody. Tomorrow she'll be trialed fairly and punished accordingly.
Then I'm done with her.
Let's not think about this now. We should celebrate.
To celebrate, the townspeople made a huge omelette with the eggs they collected from chickens. The omelette was so huge that they even invited people from the neighbouring towns. That night, Rapunzel slept soundly, knowing she had helped many people.
One day, Hansel and Gretel's father became very ill, so the children summoned a healer. The healer was a good woman who cured the sick using herbs she gathered.
I boil the water with medicinal herbs, but it only helps lower the fever a little.
So, he won't get better at all?
Well, there is one medication, the golden fruit, but getting it is almost impossible.
How come? Where is this impossible place?
I know where it is. The challenging part is getting it from the owner.
Tell us where it is, and we'll bring it to you.
This golden fruit only exists in the evil warlock's garden. It's very dangerous to get there.
We don't mind that, because we must do this for him.
We'll go there and bring it. The healer realized the children wouldn't give up, so she shared a little secret.
It is said that this warlock only fears one thing.
What is that thing he's afraid of?
Squirrels. He's terrified of squirrels.
Are you serious? A warlock who's afraid of squirrels?
The children set out for the warlock's house. In the morning, they continued their journey until they arrived at the warlock's house.
That must be his house.
There are too many fruit trees. How do you find the golden fruit?
We must look for it without being seen by the warlock.
So they wouldn't get caught by the warlock, they quietly entered the garden to find the golden fruit. Look at the cherries! How beautiful! I want to taste them!
This is paradise!
Let's find that golden fruit before we're caught by the warlock.
Come here, little insects.
While walking, they suddenly noticed that something sticky was getting on their feet.
Hey, what's this?
Where did this gooey stuff come from?
I think I saw the golden fruit on that tree. Let's get it.
But when they tried to walk, their feet were glued to the gooey substance and were unable to move.
I'm stuck. I can't walk.
You fell in my trap.
Oh no! Evil warlock!
I've caught so many kids with this magic gooey jelly. Yippee!
The warlock caught Hansel and Gretel and locked them in 2 small cages. What will he do to us?
Will he throw us into the cauldron? Calm down, Gretel. We'll wait for the right time to escape.
Gretel suddenly saw something on the other side of the cauldron.
Look, there! I wonder what's that under the cover?
The evil warlock came back with 2 bottles in his hands.
I will add you to my collection soon.
Collection? What's that?
My jelly kids, of course!
Wow, this must be the children that have disappeared and the healer mentioned to us.
Gretel was terrified at the thought that they would suffer the same fate.
Please, let us go, please!
Let you go? Never!
Why did you trap these kids in jelly?
Because they went into my garden and ate my fruits. And do you know why my garden is full of tempting fruits?
Why?
To lure the children into my lush garden. Once they enter it, I catch them. I hate kids!
You are so wicked and cruel!
After adding the magic glue powder, the jelly will be ready for you 2 nosy kids.
Look, Hansel! The keys!
I can't reach them.
Come on, stretch a little more.
So, you're trying to escape, little worms!
Hansel, the squirrel!
Yes, of course. Squirrel.
Hang tight. Where is this doggone glue powder?
Gretel, throw it out. Hurry. Come on, squirrel.
Hey, Warlock! There is a squirrel!
What? No, yikes!
He will no longer be able to harm children. Good riddance.
The warlock cried uncontrollably as the squirrel stood in front of him. The jelly where the children were trapped started dissolving. Squirrels were the only creatures that weakened the warlock's power.
Hansel, look over there! Children are free!
The spell is broken!
As the jelly fell off their bodies, the children unlocked their cages.
Yippee! We're free!
Hansel and Gretel rushed to the golden fruit tree in the garden.
Let's get the golden fruit.
Here goes.
Hooray! Our father will be cured!
They happily went back home. Once upon a time, on a small animal farm, there lived Hansel and Gretel happily.
A little one for you.
Let's not forget the frecklet rooster.
Gretel saw her dad had returned from town where he sold milk.
Hey! Father is back!
Their father told them there was a man with a monkey and a snake performing in town. He called himself the Snake Charmer.
Oh, wow! The snake charmer?
Hansel and Gretel were curious about this performance. The next day, they asked their father permission to go into town to watch the show.
Here we are!
When they arrived, Gretel noticed the tent in the square.
There it is! Let's go!
Come and see the dancing snake! See the amusing monkey!
Hansel and Gretel were intrigued and entered the tent.
It's crowded.
I can't wait for the monkey and snake.
The show began, and the man uncovered the basket. He took his flute and started playing.
Wow! Look at the snake!
Everyone was enthralled, watching the snake dance.
Look at how it dances!
Amazing!
But after a while, the lovely snake got tired and stopped.
Go on, dumb snake! Did I tell you to stop?
The snake got scared and started dancing again.
This man is heartless. He yelled at the poor snake.
Yes, I didn't like that either.
It was time for the monkey to perform.
And now, here's Chi-Chi, the talented monkey!
What a cute monkey!
Come on, greet the audience!
Bravo! Bravo!
Now comb my hair! Now draw my picture! Am I that ugly, silly monkey?
Yes, it looks very similar. Bravo, Chi-Chi, bravo!
The show is over. Let's see the coins. Collect the coins.
But when Chi-Chi didn't do as he was told, the man became very angry.
What are you waiting for, ugly monkey? Get the money.
He is very cruel and evil.
Chi-Chi was so scared, she started collecting the coins.
Poor Chi-Chi. Your owner is not a nice person.
Yeah, he's wicked. We want to return to the forest, but we can't escape.
Why are you hanging around there, silly? Collect the coins quickly.
Okay, I'm collecting right now.
Hansel and Gretel were very sad for the monkey and her friend the snake.
Poor animals. We should save them from this cruel man.
Yes, you're right.
When the show was over, everyone was gone. But Hansel and Gretel didn't leave.
So how do we save them?
We'll find a way. Let's check out what the man's doing.
Today I made a lot of money. I'm so hungry.
We're hungry too.
What? You have to work harder to earn your food.
Oh, Chi-Chi was right. He doesn't even feed them.
Poor animals. What can we do, Hansel?
Let's wait. He'll eventually come out of the tent.
Finally, the man came out to get some fresh air.
He's out. Come on.
The key's there.
Let's go now, before we get caught.
We must get to the forest as soon as possible.
But on his way back to the tent, the snake charmer saw them.
You've got some nerve. Nobody takes my animals.
They didn't stop until they reached the forest.
Now that we're in the forest, we can get you out.
Yippee! We're finally free!
But they were unaware that someone had followed them.
Ha
ha! You'll see now.
Come on, little snake, you can go home now.
Let's get you out too. What's happening?
So, you think you're going to free my animals? Think again.
What are we going to do now?
The man tied them up and set off for the town again.
You'll be part of the show too. You'll work for me.
We have to do something.
Hansel suddenly noticed the key hanging on the man's belt.
Hey, look! Over there!
How did you get out? Come here. I show you now. Come here.
He's coming! Hurry! Hurry!
Oh no, he'll catch him.
Oh, my head. Everything is spinning. Oh.
The children and the animals got rid of the evil man.
You're free now. Come out, little snake.
You can go back to the forest now.
Goodbye.
Chi-Chi and the dancing snake returned to the forest. Hansel and Gretel returned to their home happily.
KONDOSAN